Homie and Heart podcast. I am your host, Norian, and like I said, this is Homie and Heart podcast. This is a podcast here where we talk about love, relationships, and sex. And this, of course, is our first episode. So each episode, I'm trying to bring on new guests to talk about various different topics. And our first guest today is someone kind of close to me. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, what's good people? My name is David. I am the husband, and I'm happy to be here. What's happening? I had to bring in the sexy voice.
I see that. Who you trying to impress?
You.
You trying to get another wife?
No.
Okay, guys. Yes, this is David, my husband.
Yes,
we
sir.
are still in our 20s, so we are young and married.
Yep.
Which brings a different perspective to that whole thing. But yeah, we've been together for about 6 years almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been married for almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
So that kind of inspired the name of the podcast, Homie and Heart, just because I feel like the perfect formula for a successful relationship is you gotta be homies and they have to have your heart too. So just separate from having your heart, y'all gotta be homies. Like homie.
Mm-hmm.
So the name of the podcast is Homie and Heart. So David, thinking about your past relationships, do you think what were your experiences with your past relationships as far as the friendships within the relationships? For example, people usually say become friends first and then establish a romantic relationship. Mm-hmm. All things don't always happen like that. Our story did not happen like that. So what type of friendships did you have with people that you were in relationships with?
So I would say I had pretty good, pretty okay situations, They were cool, they started out good, but eventually they weren't the same, seen different things. But I would say, conversations was safe, we would, do the standard, check on you in the morning, maybe try to see if I can talk to you in between the day, depending on what we're doing, and then, link up at night or something like that later on in the day if we could. But,
what about conversation-wise, like conversation content?
We had some good conversations, you would talk about things like, we had in-depth conversations, You had things like, quick conversations like, what do you believe in? What's some of your goals and this, that. But they wasn't, those conversations was kind of few in between for real. And they wasn't as in-depth as, me and you could go. Me and you could talk about anything and everything. For a long time, and we can just go deep into the conversations, unpack everything.
So would you think that you were friends with a couple other people? Like, do you think you were do you think the people you was in a relationship before, do you think they were friends? Like on top of being your boyfriend and your girlfriend, we're good friends outside of that. Would you say you were? Did you guys have the same hobbies and things like that?
We didn't have the same hobbies. I would say we was cool.
Not necessarily the same hobbies, but yeah. So you said you guys weren't
I would say we was cool, but I wouldn't say we were homies.
Not super close.
Yeah, we weren't homies.
Open?
I wasn't as open. That's the thing, It took a lot. I was very guarded, in my previous relationships. I wasn't very vulnerable, I didn't really express myself as much, and I wasn't really as open to allowing certain conversations to happen.
Oh yeah, because in my past relationships, when I think about them, I really felt like in a couple of different relationships that I was really close friends with the people that I was actually in relationships with. I felt like that was my best friend. I felt like that I was technically, they was the homie, until you look back at it and realize, we didn't really have anything in common other than just liking each other as far as boyfriend, girlfriend type of thing. Mm-hmm. When you don't have nothing from the morals to the values to the hobbies in common, it's no, not really. But I thought that they was my best friend because like I talk to them every day.
Yeah.
And I love them so much. And I talk to them every day. So it's like if I talk to you every day and I love you, you have to be my best friend because I like always want to be around you.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what that means.
That wasn't the case. Huh?
That isn't the case, and it wasn't the case. And just because you talk to someone every day and you love them doesn't mean that they're your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
But of all that don't add up, no, that's not really your homie. Because like me and you, like we homies. Like me and David, we talk about a lot of stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
We like
any and everything.
We can talk about sex we've had in the past, but we can go like into details. Like I will be like, she did what? And she did this? Oh, and what happened when you did that? Oh, for real? Or I'll be like, oh my gosh, and then his sweat just dripped on my face and I wanted to gag. Like we share those details. Yeah. But when we share those details, it's funny and it's exciting and it's just like me learning. Like I don't feel like it just feel regular. Like it feel like I'm talking to my homie.
Yeah.
Like it don't even feel like, oh my gosh, don't say that. Like it's just cool. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't second guess it. And some people would say, oh well, that's just certain people are comfortable with that. Some people are not. And I get that. And while that's true, I was never comfortable with things like that. Like in my past relationships, I don't want to hear about who you having sex with or how you having sex or what you did to her. I'm like, excuse me, no, la la la, I don't want to hear it. Like, absolutely not. But with you, I just be like, for real? I could be so entertained and so excited.
I think it's a lot that goes into that, you know? So, like, for instance, you're older now, you're wiser, you're smarter, you know, and you're more mature. So, certain kind of conversations you can handle, you know.
So, you don't think it's about that connection?
It's definitely about the connection for sure. It's definitely about the connection. You know,
I think it's more about the age.
I don't think it's about the age. I think age has to do with it, but I also think it's the connection too. You know.
So it's not just me. Like you could be like that with anybody. It's not just me. I'm your wife.
No. I can't be like that with nobody. I haven't been like that with nobody before in the past. You know what I'm saying? You don't discuss those type of things with me, basing it on my previous experiences and previous relationships. Those weren't things I discussed. You know, like it's just saying, you know, it's not where you're from. It's where you're going. But in a relationship, you can't get to where you're going until you know where you came from, right? Mm-hmm. So when I say that because, you know, me being able to talk about my past experience with us, you know, it's mutually beneficial because we get to talk about it, right? And then we also learn it from it because we're learning like, okay, well, I know David don't like that, so let me not do this, or you know, Nori don't like this, so let me not do that because I learned these are things you told me.
Yeah.
So it is helpful. It's it's very healthy in a relationship, and also I feel like it's. To be able to have those kind of conversations, you gotta be 100% real with your partner, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm letting the wall down and I'm being vulnerable to you because I'm being able to discuss these conversations, understanding that my wife is not gonna pass judgment on me, your husband is not gonna pass judgment on you. Yeah. And I trust you and you trust me, you know? It's not malicious. It's just me telling you like, you know, babe, look, this what happened. And I mean, how can I be my 100% authentic self to you if I can't tell you what has transpired in my life 100%, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but I don't want it to seem like we're telling people that everybody should talk about their sex with other people in all relationships. That's not what we're saying.
It ain't gonna work with everybody.
We're not saying that. No. We're not saying in order for your relationship to be good, that's what you gotta have, because we ain't saying that either. Right. I don't believe that. Right. I'm just saying that's something that me and you have that I think is like pretty dope, where we can just talk, and it's like so entertaining and so funny. I mean, you don't feel no type of way when I be going into details with you and things like that.
I don't.
First, and not just sex, but in a lot of different. I'm just using sex as an example of how we really is like homies, where we could talk about so many different things. But
you know, sex, that topic too is, you know, sorry to cut you off, but that sex is a, you know, is a very sensitive topic. You know, a lot of people don't want to hear who you was with before them. Because, you know, it could be a matter of insecurities, you know, it could be a matter of, you know, jealousy issues. This is that. It's a lot of things that, you know, people, characteristics that people have that don't allow them to be able to have those kind of conversations. And that's perfectly fine. But me and your relationship, we're solid in our relationship. You know, we trust each other. We're real. We're 100% blunt. And I think that's based on our strong foundation. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, you know.
And that's like you said, based on our strong foundation. And I think the reason why in this relationship I would be just so okay with talking to you about it is because I don't feel like I had nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
And you shouldn't. Why would you?
But you don't feel no type of way.
I don't.
Because you don't know what about.
No.
It's like you. But that just comes with being like, you know.
Now y'all out there talking about, talking to your spouse and you're like, well, he used to do this and I wish these things, and your spouse not doing that, then that's a problem.
Well, no, you're not gonna be like, ooh, I want you to do it like Jim Bob did it to me.
Jim Bob.
Like, no. We're
Right.
not talking about Jim Bob.
Don't do that.
We're not comparing it. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But I could tell you funny stories, and I can tell you about awful experiences, and we could crack up laughing about that. And even while we cracking up laughing about that, you still, since that is your significant other, you still taking mental notes like, I better not never do
I know,
like that. Because
see,
he over here laughing about homegirl who did that. So I can't be that.
Yeah.
So it's all in fun.
Yeah.
But we just that cool.
Right.
Enough to be homies like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else? It could be a bad thing with being, I mean, that's not always a good thing, of being so close. It's a bad thing about being homies like we talking about. There are bad things to it. I mean, I love it and I think it's great. And that's definitely why I decided to name the podcast Homie and Heart, because it is about love and relationships. And I think it is the perfect recipe for the greatest and most fulfilling relationship for any and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still boundaries. Like, there are still some things that when being the homie has gone wrong.
Yeah.
Or sometimes where being the homie, you just still have to keep in mind that is your significant other. Like you said, for example, comparing sexual things, or being like, oh, you need to do it like this, like homeboy did it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, other than that, for example, in my personal experience, from how maybe sometimes I maybe took the homie thing too far, and it's like I could get too comfortable with you because you are the homie. Like, I just don't care about how I look some days walking around the house. I mean, we're married, we live together now, and since you so much the homie, I just like, that's just David coming in the door. Like, I could be looking a hot mess. And the thing is, that's something that you have to keep in mind, because that's not okay. Okay. Because you want your man or your woman to be attracted to you at all times. And even, okay, yeah, some days I may not look the greatest, but the fact that things that I know that I've done is like, maybe I'll prolong that for too many days or too many weeks where I continue to look crazy, especially during quarantine. And it's like, for a minute where you wasn't going out the house for like a couple weeks, and I just looked any type of way. Because I feel like, what I got a person for?
Right.
So that's the bad part about it. Because even though that's your homie, you still want to make sure you look good for your man. You still want to make sure you show up for him. You still want to make sure, yeah, I'm your homie, but don't forget about the heart part.
Yeah.
Because I am your heart.
Yeah.
And even if...
You gotta be able to, maintain that attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And, that sexual or, intimate fire needs to continue to burn. So, yeah, for sure. Don't step up on the little things. You know what I'm saying? When you the homie, it's easy to get sidetracked and, swayed into the world of not, doing the little things and going the extra mile. It's like, they love me. It's all good. That's my husband. So that can become a problem. That can become a problem because love is crucial. It's crucial.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna say?
Nothing.
I would say love is, the love is crucial. You know what I'm saying? My love for you is deep. It's high.
Mm-hmm.
But love will get you there, but the friendship will keep you there, right?
Yes.
So I say that because, yeah, I love you, and yeah, we rocking, but still understand that, I'm your husband. You still want to be a great wife. I still want to be a great husband to you, and I want to make sure that I do any and everything I need to do to make sure my wife is happy.
You know what that made me think of? Another thing why having your significant other as your homie skillet biscuit is the greatest thing ever, because the homie part of the situation is the part that really makes you care about the other person's individual goals and aspirations. You want them to succeed because that's your homie. Like, I love you and I want us to have a good marriage and I want our marriage to succeed. But as a homie, like, I care for you. And it's like, I love you, but I ain't even talking about romantic. Like, I just love you because I just want you to do, like, what can I do to make you achieve your goals? And when you have both of those things married together, it's just like the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you my homie. But, like I said before, this is our relationship. We may be kind of weird with the whole sexual talk where we talk to each other about that. Whatever. Regardless of however you decide to be homies with your person, just make sure y'all is, like, homies. Like,
y'all like that.
yeah. I just feel like, and when you have that, number 3 or whatever number I'm on, as many times as I said, when you have that, it makes going through tough times so much doable.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so much, because when you go through hard times as an individual person, not even as a couple or whatever, if one person is going through a hard time, you are not going to be selfish as far as, I need this, give me my romantic attention, I need this, I need that. It's like, no, I'm your friend at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So as a friend, what can I do to lift you up and be there for you? And I think we have gotten closer in the past year just by showing, like, I'm here for you, whatever it is. Like, I got you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Right.
So, yes, I'm very excited about Homie and Heart podcast. This is just telling you guys the reason why I came up with that and my beautiful inspiration sitting across from me. You blushing, boy?
I'm about to say, you make brother feel good.
So, yes. You have anything else to say, baby?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, and I'm just thinking about it, man. Plus, the true test of a relationship is after it's been tested, and we've been tested. We've gone through some, some life experiences, I guess I should say.
In our short 6 years.
Yeah, not sure. I know. But we've and let me tell you, we've had good days and bad days, which is of course fantastic. That's always a plus. And it's just all in all, I'm enjoying this marriage. It's a fun marriage, and that's why hence the topic, homie and heart. The homie, because it don't matter what we doing, where we at. We gonna have fun. We gonna make the best of it.
Exactly. You my homie. If me and David go on a vacation to Opalaka, we gonna have fun.
Right.
At a vacation to Opalaka, because we could just vibe like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's go. We spending the weekend at Opalaka, y'all. Where y'all going?
Right. Opalaka.
But whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Right. So yeah, that's hey, you can't beat it. If you got the homie, you got the heart. It is what it is.
It is what it is, y'all. This is Homie and Heart podcast. Thank you for listening to us on our first episode. We will be back every week, hopefully, uploading new videos, new episodes for you guys every week on all podcast platforms and the visual version on YouTube. Thank you so much for getting this far to the video. If you did make it this far to the video, love you guys. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Bye.